What connected the Goths and the Slavs? Goths? No, we are not talking about a youth subculture that loves black clothes and night walks through old cemeteries. The Goths are ferocious and powerful barbarians who in 405 AD became the first enemy force in nearly 900 years to capture Rome. In 475, the Goths put an end to the Western Roman Empire altogether when their king, Theodoric, overthrows the last Roman emperor, Romulus, and sends his regalia to Constantinople. What were these Goths anyway? Where did they even come from? The Goths belonged to the North Germanic peoples. That is, they are related to the Swedes, Norwegians, and Danes. A little further, relatives of the British and Germans. It is believed that the Goths originated in southern Sweden, where the city of Gothenburg, the fortress is ready, and the island of Gotland, the land is ready, still exist. From cold and uncomfortable Scandinavia, the Goths moved across the Baltic to the territory of modern Poland around the 2nd century AD, from where, by the 3rd century, they had already reached the northern Black Sea region, settling on the lower Dnieper and in the Crimea. Here a powerful Gothic power appeared. Here the Goths were divided into two branches, the Ostrogoths, eastern, and the Visigoths, western. Both of them began to disturb the neighboring Roman Empire with their raids, reaching Greece and Asia Minor with robberies. At this time, the Goths lived side by side with the Slavs. Many ancient borrowings have remained from the Germanic language ready in the Proto-Slavic language, which we still use in our speech, and we do not consider other people's words at all. For example, bread comes from the Gothic laefs. Where does the modern English loaf come from? Or artist, from the Gothic handugs, wise master. Letter, from the Gothic polka, book, related to the English book. The Slavs remembered their Goth neighbors so well that there is a mention of them in the legendary Old Russian poem The Tale of Igor's Campaign, dating back to the 12th century. Behold the red Gothic maidens rise on the blue sea. By the way, the Goths were not such wild barbarians as historians usually depict them in books. They accepted Christianity in its Aryan version, that is, they considered God in a human body. They got their own alphabet and their own translation of the Bible. By the way, this is the first known written monument in the Germanic language. In the 4th century, the Goths were driven from their places of residence by even more dangerous aliens, the Huns. The Goths had no choice but to raid the neighboring weakened Roman Empire, and demolish it, under the command of King Alaric. Reaching Rome itself, previously considered impregnable, the Visigoths established their own kingdom in Spain, Ostrogoths in Italy. True, the Goths did not manage to rule these vast lands for a long time, just as they failed to Germanize the huge local Latin population. The kingdom of the Ostrogoths in Italy was destroyed in the 6th century by the Byzantines, led by Emperor Justinian. The Visigoths were rolled out without a trace by the Arabs who invaded Spain in the next century. The remnants of the Goths quickly melted into the Romanesque population of Western Europe. But some Italians, Portuguese, and Spaniards still have Gothic blood in their veins. Gothic names have also been preserved. For example, Rodrigo, originally Radric, Fernando, Ferdinand, and Gonzalo, Gundar elves. By the way, the closest relatives of the Goths, who also arrived from Scandinavia to the death of Rome, were two more famous gravediggers of the empire, the Burgundians and the Vandals. Part of the ready, according to one version, survived then in the Crimea, and it stayed there until the end of the Middle Ages. At least there is evidence of the use of the Gothic language in Crimea as early as the 16th and 17th centuries. On this basis, Hitler, by the way, later considered the South Russian peninsula to be a purely German territory. He planned to rename Sevastopol to Theodoricshafen, the harbor of the Gothic king Theodoric. He demanded to populate the Crimea with the Austrians, and he was preparing to lay a high-speed autobahn from the peninsula to Hamburg, for the speed of communication and the acceleration of Germanization, so to speak.